The left quickly taking advantage of a tragedy to smear the President of the United States as a racist responsible for death. First of all, Black Lives Matter and Antifa have more connections to the Democratic Party than white supremacists have to the Republican Party. Left-wing radical groups have terrorized this country over the last several years, shooting police officers, rioting in the streets, and assaulting innocent civilians. Has the Democratic Party leadership condemned left-wing violence? Not so much. As a matter of fact, after a Bernie Sanders volunteer shot Republican Congressman Steve Scalise, Democratic leadership blamed both sides for the shooting.
There's a lot of heated rhetoric from all different directions.
I think there's sometimes rhetoric on all sides that are not quite acceptable.
I do think that the language, the rhetoric on both sides has gotten out of control.
And when a Black Lives Matter supporter assassinated police officers in Dallas, here's what President Obama said.
First of all, I think it's very hard to untangle the motives of this shooter. I think the danger, as I said, is that we somehow suggest that the act of a troubled individual speaks to some larger political statement across the country.
Now let's just pretend the white supremacist who was driving the car was a Muslim. The media would call him a lone wolf and say his motivations were unclear. Remember, this is how CNN described the Islamic terror attack in London as a van attack. Did they describe this as a Dodge Challenger attack? And the same people who don't like Donald Trump saying Islamic terrorism are urging him now to say white supremacism. For a party who called Islamic terrorism workplace violence, spare everybody the lectures. If hundreds of thousands of Islamic terrorists have nothing to do with Islam, then why does one white supremacist have anything to do with Donald Trump? We can use the left's own rationalizations against them all day, but we won't. It's tedious to listen to both sides fight over which side hates Nazis more. Well, we saw in Charlottesville were fringe fanatics who don't represent this country.